guys are ready.
My stuff, like we have a display and
I know, right? He's so
you
awkward.
see it. I see what he was doing.
Oh.
Give us a count in.
No, it's the cold open.
No, we're
Oh,
yeah.
You gotta just start talking.
Yeah, we're just gonna start talking for a little while.
So
We're doing a pro style.
I see.
Right.
I see. Get my ass in here. All right. We're here with Greg from Turbo Dork. Obviously, you all know he's my favorite paint. I do all of my color shifts with him. I do most of my metallics. I love it. It's so easy to use. Anybody can use it. I mean, I did a whole video on him when I first did it. It was actually my first video, and
That's cool.
yeah, you were my first.
realize that.
Yeah, you were my first at anything. That's why I reached out to you.
Yeah.
And even then, he was just like, didn't even know me, and he sent me like free samples to help me out. So I'm looking to return the favor. So
Yeah, right on.
what's going on? How's it going for you?
It is amazing. I mean, Adepticon's always amazing, right? So it's like coming home again sometimes, coming here, you know?
You know, it's funny. I literally said that to my wife driving off.
Aw. Yeah, I mean, the community here is amazing. Everyone's so friendly. Like, if I could only go to one convention a year, it would be Adepticon, honestly.
Same.
You know? The show's been great. It's been crazy. It's like a good crazy, I should say.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot to take in at first with the 3-level versus the single
Yeah.
floor. Like, things were so hard to find, but you know, by day 2, I felt great.
I actually think it's a real upgrade. I was on Team Schaumburg, like we shouldn't have moved originally, but
Yeah.
like a day in now, I'm like totally down.
Yeah.
Like, the hall is just about the right size. There's all the extra rooms for the painting classes and stuff, so it's like it's really spread out. So it's kind of hard to find stuff, but like everyone's got their zone too, which is kind of nice.
Everyone's
Yeah.
kind of got their home, if you'll say.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Although I still gotta say Schaumburg was better, but I'm biased. I'm 15 minutes from Schaumburg.
my
I
God.
literally downloaded 15
Yeah,
minutes.
fair.
Away. So for me, it's hard to give it up.
Now it's a commute for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
An hour and a half, but still not that bad, honestly.
Yeah, that's good. It's only an hour and a half extra.
Yeah.
For us, it's like we got to fly in anyways. It doesn't super matter. I tried driving. Well, I did drive the first 2 years. It's 2.5 days each direction, which is a lot.
Wow.
Dude,
So it's 5 more days on the road plus this, which is like 6 days.
I don't envy you. I get angry after 4 hours.
Yeah. I've learned my lesson now. Now we ship.
Yeah, no, trust me, I feel you. Anytime you can fly, it's a better day.
Yeah.
So you brought some cool toys to play
Yeah.
with. What you got?
So we're finally growing up as a company, and now we have box sets. So it took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do graphic design wise, because none of us are designers. I'm originally a photographer. This is our second career, technically. Turbo Dork was all started by accident, technically.
Dive in deep on that. I think
yeah.
that the dork heads out there would like to know that.
Yeah, so like, oh my god, 6 years ago now, I went into metallic purple for painting Emperor's Children, which is auspiciously finally now coming to 40K. And so I taught myself how to make paint for like a year. We put it online, we got tweeted about, and we had distribution like 6 hours later. Like we'd never even shipped any product.
Dude, that's insane.
And
That's
it's just-
like a true overnight story.
Yeah, and it's just been off to the races since then. Like I had to figure out, we had to build 30 colors because we needed to have enough for a rack. Had to figure out how to make a rack. Had to talk about like, oh, what are like terms like net 30 and net 60 and stuff like that with the distributors. So I joke it's like we kind of we're building the bridge as we cross it in a lot of cases. I feel like we finally reached a point now where we kind of know what we're doing, or at least what it looks like we know what we're doing.
Isn't that every adult out there faking it till we make it?
That is the true story of like everything is you just make it till you make it.
I just feel
and
like
confidence is king.
I feel like
You
that's
know?
just the truth of it.
Yeah, and like I feel confident in what we do now. Like we make cool colors to make cool things become colorful, and yeah, like this is one of those things where it was like paint box sets are hard to design, right? Because it's like, do you want to have a window? Do you want to show off the bottles? Do you want to have swatches on it? Which
How's it
direction
gonna
should it
look?
go? Yeah. And I got inspired by, we have like retro kind of synth wavy graphic design. And so I was just staring at like old VHS tapes one day.
I was gonna say that looks
And-
like the old blank VHSs
Yep.
you could burn.
Yeah, and I can't remember which company it is. It was like, you know, RCA or TDK or whatever.
I think both of them actually had it. My
Yeah.
grandma used to drive me nuts because we always had to go to, what was it, Circuit City back in the day
Yeah.
to pick them up. Yeah,
Oh my
no,
God.
it resonated with me. I hear you.
I remember when Circuit City went out of business and they had, you know, the selling off everything in the store. And they just had a bin of Circuit City shirts, so I bought a bunch of Circuit City shirts.
Nice.
So I just
That's so funny.
I can like Circuit City cosplay if I want to.
Dude,
now.
I love that.
Here, I'll do it with you.
Yeah, right?
That's so funny.
Just walk around and people are like, what?
Just
What?
come up to the booth and just stand there with your shirt on.
It'd be like having a Blockbuster shirt or something these days.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Although there are, I
There
guess
are,
there
there's
is-
like one left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it's like booming. Like people are wanting it. So I heard through the grapevine. I don't know how true it is, but we might actually start seeing a chain again.
Yeah.
Maybe not like. Maybe it's just gonna be like memorabilia because you don't
Right,
really
it's
need
like-
the video, but like it'd still be cool to have. You
Yeah,
know?
like a nostalgia kind of like relaunch kind of thing.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like us older millennials, all about our nostalgia. We need our nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I mean, our whole brand is nostalgia to some
No,
extent.
I know, and you know, the '80s graphic, the
Yeah.
blue and the pink and the bright.
That's
it's
my
just amazing.
favorite. It's so bright and eye-catching. I love it.
Yeah.
Hence the shirt.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I
Yeah,
like it. On brand.
I've themed myself to match the booth.
It's
I like it.
perfect. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. You know. What else you got in the works? Anything special? I see new paintbrushes. That's exciting.
Oh yeah, paintbrushes are on the way. We're making a paintbrush that fits inside of here, so that you can get a paintbrush with your starter set,
You're gonna
which
have
is
to keep me in the loop. I'm gonna need to know when these
Yeah.
drops.
Yeah.
which is weirdly hard to do because it has to be shorter than normal to fit in here.
Yep.
So we're having to do a custom run of that. This guy is like my new favorite thing. Is our thinning medium. People asked for this for years.
I remember.
It's now an Origin Award nominee for 2025. So we'll find out in June.
Wow.
An award for hobby accessory.
Dude, that's awesome. You got my vote.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Same.
it's like it's a acrylic medium, a flow improver, and a retarder all in one. So it's basically you use a couple of drops of this. It thins really, really well, so you don't need to use a lot of it, so you don't lose coverage. So painting with it is a pleasure because it's not like painting with like thin film or something like that. It's been really
I can
nice.
tell you, GW's mediums are a pain. Either they're super thin or super thick.
Yeah.
You know, it's finding that right balance, and I think you hit the market. How well has it been doing?
Gangbusters. I think we sold something like. Well, we made a batch of like 650 bottles, and it's all gone now.
Wow.
Ooh,
So
that's
whatever we have
awesome.
left at the show is all I've got at the warehouse. So if I don't bring any back, we don't have any for our website.
Yeah.
So I gotta make another batch.
Yeah.
I'm proud of to have them being
Yeah.
active moving. So hey,
Yep.
I'm so happy. Like we were talking about screen before we got over here. We've been doing this for 3 years together. Like
Yeah.
I became a fanboy 3 years ago, and it's just I love watching the evolution. I know I'm not part of it, but I get geeked because I love it and I feel like I'm a part. And seeing all the cool new stuff and getting to know you, it's been a
Yeah.
pleasure. You
Yeah.
know? I call you a friend. Like we joke and say he's
Yeah.
such a great guy. You know?
Aw. Yeah, and you get to check in every year. And see how
Yeah,
we're doing.
it's so fun.
Yeah.
And that's what this community has that I don't feel other ones do is like, you know, people look at us and like, oh, the weirdos and the nerds, but to us, this is family, you
Yeah.
know? And I don't throw that word around a lot because I feel like it loses its value for you, but honestly, you know, like you and me, like we haven't seen each other since last Adepticon.
Yeah.
And right just yesterday, instant head nod,
Yeah.
like there was connection,
Like, I know you.
Yeah.
you know, it's amazing. It's so amazing to have that.
Yeah.
Especially with the way the world is all over, it's just chaotic. So it's so nice to get to a place where you don't have to worry about that. You can leave it at the door and just enjoy it. There's been so many cool cosplayers around. There's
Oh my
been,
god, yeah.
you know, all the booths are new, all the shiny new toys. I'm a kid in the kitty or
Kid in the
candy store.
Yeah.
Or kid in the kitty store too. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's- we paint toys.
Yeah, true.
You know.
Fair enough.
You know, I to get serious for a moment, there's a lot of negativity in the world out there.
It
And
really is.
I like that we get to be in an environment of positivity for a little bit. I like fostering that. I like fostering inclusion. And I like allowing people to be creative in a fashion they would not have been able to before.
You know, be who you are, be loud, be proud. We got you. We're so happy to support you, and that's one of the things we talked about early on. You know, like I said, I don't want to dwell too much on the negative or go deep in it, but I think what you're looking for, terminology-wise, is a safe space. We have a huge safe space.
We do, yeah.
And, you know, nobody judges, nobody looks down, so I agree with you 100%. You know, if you're looking to get out here, looking to do things, just bring it in. You know, I was truly afraid. This man met me when I did my first ever gaming. This is not my third. And he'll tell you, I was scared shitless. I was shaky. He was the first kind soul I ever met, and he actually built me up. So, you know, and he was a total stranger. Never talked to the guy before. So, and that's what this place will do for you. You know?
It's true.
So please don't feel ashamed. Don't feel like I won't fit in. My wife is not even a gamer. She actually ran into a girl squad that immediately snatched her up. She's now part of a girl squad. They get together, they do hobbies, they joke.
Usually on Discord, but still.
Know, they even gave friendship bracelets. My wife stole mine, but
I did. Taylor Swift. Maybe I should show the camera.
I love the friendship bracelet thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's Taylor Swift. Oh wait, look it. Sorry everybody. Woohoo! Okay, anyways.
You know, and we were just admiring the work in the case over at Atomic Games.
Yeah.
And you can just write up a conversation anywhere. So
I love that. I also love that you can like meet your favorite creators. You can meet the game designers.
Yep.
So you feel like you're included in the process and you're included in the community.
Yeah.
You know, I come originally from like the San Diego Comic Con world where it's like 150,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe you can see the person over there. There's a crowd around them. But
and
like,
crazily overpriced.
Yes.
I mean, $50 if you want to be part of something.
Yeah, $50 to get a signature from somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's not like here. It's literally like.
It's $50 for the pass. And if you want to enter, you know you can. Or if you're not looking to be part of anything, just come to enjoy it. It's free.
Yeah, that's huge. Like
It is.
I don't know any other convention that lets you just come into it for free.
No, you know.
Like for vendors, it's great because it means you have more money to spend.
Yeah.
But it's better to be open and let people come see the event than to be exclusionary.
And that's what I was saying. I was just about to say that. We're on the same wavelength because I was going to say bringing it back to everybody's welcome of all walks of life. We don't want money to keep you out of this.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's already hella expensive to get started.
It's not a cheap hobby by any means.
No.
No.
My dad and my uncle played it, so I stole their shit.
Yeah.
So, but you know, for those that are just getting into it, it is free, it is nice, and as you can see, we're trying to make it more inclusive. GW made a great stride. If you've never played the game and you're really interested in like Warhammer, you know, those combat patrols are huge. Everything you need right there, and the rulebook is free. You know, if you're really looking, they're trying to bring you in. You know.
Yeah, I think there's a really big push because there's the old guard guys like myself that right. Like I've been playing since I was 8, right? So that's 32 years ago. And we already know all the nomenclature, and we know all the different companies, and we know what's what, and stuff like that. But like, if you want to grow the hobby, you have to bring new people into the hobby.
Absolutely.
And it's a hard hobby to get into sometimes without that like sort of onboard ramp. So I think companies are figuring out that we need to have easy 2-player starter sets or something less than say $100 or $200 to get into the game.
Agreed.
Again, to be more inclusive because not everybody has $1,000 for 2,000 point army. For
Or don't have a local shop to go to.
Yeah.
Which I was blessed with Grognard's.
That's where you found these paints.
I did. I actually found them at Grognard's and I recognized the paint and I lost my shit like a schoolgirl.
How much do these usually run you, like the box sets? How much do they start at?
So these 2 box sets are $30.
Okay.
So the paints in them are the same size paints as normal, which would normally be $35. So you can kind of get a paint for free.
Nice.
Especially once we include the paintbrush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you upgraded. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
I was going to mention from buying your originals to the new ones, they're bigger.
So we changed a lot. So we used to be 20 milliliter dropper bottles that looked more like eye drops, that kind of style. We switched not this January, but last January to a 22 milliliter chubby gorilla bottle.
Oh.
Which is more from like the like e-juice and vaping culture. But they work really well for our paints because they're clear, so
Yep.
you can see how cool they look. And then the dropper tips on them, they don't drip because they're made for like super thin liquids normally. So it's actually really worked out in our favor. This is like a big version of it. Just imagine little guys right here.
Yeah.
But no, they're great, yeah. And we also switched to what I call Remix, which is a new formula, so it doesn't freeze and have those kinds of issues.
Nice.
We double the amount of pigment that's in these paints.
Ooh.
And it just flows really well now. So it's a lot of it has been about trying to make customer experiences better. You know, I handle the customer service. I'm the owner. If you email us, you're talking to me.
Yeah.
It's probably always going to be like that because I always want to have like those touch points, and I want to make people's experiences better.
It's more personal.
It's more personal, and I believe in this company, so I should be the one helping people and fixing problems. You know?
And like I said, you were the one that I dealt with from beginning to now. So, you know what?
Yeah,
I can piggyback on that.
my first Adepticon, it was just me running the booth on my own.
I was gonna say now your booth is bigger. We'll get some shots of the booth later
Now
in
we
the
have-
video, but
Now we have a 10 by 20, so we doubled the size.
Yup.
We have 4 people here instead of just myself. So it's kind of cool to be growing too.
it's
I was
amazing.
gonna say, my wife actually mentioned it before I could. It's so nice to actually see you get the help you need.
Yes, yes,
know?
and we still need more help.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's been, you know, it's been a fun like growth trajectory experience thing, you know. And to be able to take the time to have an interview, I would not have been able to do that a few years ago.
Yeah.
No. This man's head was spinning. But I do want to talk about the chaos that you mentioned off screen. Like, this poor guy was all over the place, but he still made time for me. Still made me feel really good because I didn't even get an honorary mention. So, you know, for me that means a lot. You know, this man does really care about his people. He does really check in.
Customer service is on point.
You know, I wouldn't even say customer. It's like he's treating a friend. Like, he talks to you like a friend. Not so much like, hey, you bought from me, cool, but like, hey, how you doing? You know, I really like what you did here. Please show me more. Please keep in contact.
Yeah.
You know? It's not so much about you bought from me, but it's like, hey, we're buds now. Let's
Yeah.
do this. You know, and that's how I felt anyway. And like, one thing I did want to talk about from experience.
Yeah.
I like these tops.
Yeah.
They're so nice because they don't spill. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many of us have had the Knoll experience
Uh-huh.
where you're working, Knoll on the tips, and now you just lost all of it.
Yeah.
So it is nice to know that there is security as well.
I feel like, and not to toot my own horn a bit, or toot my horn. You know,
Toot it.
Wait,
Toot.
Toot,
I'm just gonna
toot.
toot. Okay.
Yes.
while wearing a tutu.
I feel
No.
like a lot of companies are stagnant with their design for things. Like, they've always done it one way for the last 30 years. They don't want to change it. They're happy with it. I like taking feedback and trying to run with it and trying to make a better product. Our old paint bottles were not great. You could take the cap off without breaking the seal, so you didn't know if it was fresh or not. The paint would sometimes get stuck in the nozzle and pop the thing off and stuff like that. This is really nice because it's got a little floating membrane in it that actually clamps down onto the tip, so it won't drip unless you open it. Like, that's huge.
That's huge, yeah.
Like,
That's super thoughtful too into your product.
because so many people complain about certain other companies spilling their paint all the time. Myself.
I'm
Yeah.
clumsy as shit. My wife laughs at me every
He's done it 4 or 5 times at
Yeah.
least.
Why did you have to give a number?
Oh,
Jeez.
sorry.
That's not so bad though.
That's not too bad, yeah.
It's like 4 or 5 times a week
Yeah,
for
you're
me.
hanging
Yeah.
your drive.
No.
So much for ride or die.
I have that thing where I like don't know where my arms are, so I'm
Yeah.
just like smacking
I do the
stuff.
same thing.
Yeah.
So I had to transfer all their stuff to our own dropper bottles.
Yeah. No, but the dropper bottles are nifty.
Yeah.
Are all the bottles like that or just a paint thinner?
All of them are like that. These
Oh,
are
nice.
just the same thing but smaller.
Smaller.
Have you
Yeah.
ever
Nice.
thought about selling just the bottles by themselves? People might do
Yeah,
it.
I think we're gonna do that actually.
Honestly, I would buy them because it's like I said, the security is so nice.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a smaller desk and you're trying to do so much.
Yep.
It's so easy, like you said, to just
I genuinely think we are going to. The only reason I haven't done it is I haven't had time.
Yeah.
All I need to do is take a picture of like an empty bottle and put a listing online, but I haven't done it yet.
honestly,
No.
I feel like it'd be like the next breakthrough, like your medium, because like I said, the security is wonderful. Like, I don't
That's a
mean
good
to
point.
just like be like super obsessive, but like as an artist, you know, and like those of you that actually see my desk, I have like that little L desk that you can get on Amazon.
Yep.
And like it's nice, I have the space, but when I have my stuff in there and the paint, my space goes from like this to like this, and I'm trying to work. You know, my dog like comes in and like it's chaos,
Yeah.
and it's so easy to go paint. I don't know how many times I'm like, God damn it. You know?
And that's something I want to like try to solve for people. So yeah, selling empty bottles might help.
Honestly, I think it would. I would, trust me, I would run with it.
First order.
First 5.
Yeah.
I'll name it the Austin bottle.
Yeah, right. Oh, that'd be fun.
I would not have you closed.
Yeah.
So what else you have going on? Anything?
Oh man, what can I talk about? That's always the tough thing, right?
I like your blending sticks. Those are nice.
Oh yeah, the silicone mixing sticks, which I think we're gonna call mixing and sculpting sticks, because more people seem to be using them for green stuff sculpting than they are for mixing paint.
I never
Hey.
heard of that. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Miles from Little Legend Studios taught a
Okay.
whole class yesterday on how to sculpt green stuff, and he was using those sticks. So we got a whole wave of people after the class.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
kinda
really
neat.
nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I got them because, or I made them because the new bottles, you can pop the tip off and you can get in there with the mixing stick. So I find that easier to do than shaking them. I mean, we do have a glass mixing ball in there already, but shaking all day gets in the way.
Well, not only that, but if you have like really bad arthritis, that just might flare it up.
Yeah.
So I like where
Yeah.
your head's at. It's another consumer thought process.
Yeah, so that's what I made them for, but other people have adapted them for sculpting and stuff like that. But those are great. They're $10 for 3, so they're pretty affordable.
Yeah,
I use them in the airbrush because there's a little pointy tip so I can get down by the needle.
Oh, hey.
You know,
Smart.
I was just looking at
Oh,
airbrush.
can you use your paints with airbrush?
With both, yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nice.
it's actually, that's cool. There's a little TV behind the camera with our ad that just played on it. Which
Aw,
I hadn't
man.
seen yet.
oh, that's
Okay.
cool.
I'm so happy you're here to share it.
Wait, see
I
it.
hadn't seen it come by on the like rotation yet, so I
No,
didn't
that's
know if it was
cool. I
actually
am
there.
extremely ADHD. My wife's always like,
Yeah.
if you notice, she was like,
No,
you
yeah.
hand at me. And I'm
Squirrel?
Like, and I'm like,
Squirrel.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that it was like in the corner of my eye. I was like,
Hey.
I know that picture.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they were cool. They were. Adepticon's really not. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. Adepticon's really nice, and they'll sometimes let you do extra things if you donate product to the gift bags.
Yeah.
One of them was they let us do like an ad on the rotating like the LCD panel TVs.
Yes.
I know, that's awesome. I will say another thing that I loved about your painting or your website way back when I first started using them is your tutorials. Most companies don't do that. I mean, Games Workshop just started doing it.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to actually get the paint and be able to go home and actually see from the person that created it how to use it, how to take care of it, what to do. So that's really, really nice too.
We've actually reworked our retail displays for stores now. There's a QR code at the top of it next to where it says Turbo Dork. And it's like scan here to learn how to use our paint. And it just goes to a video of me on YouTube wearing, I think, the same shirt. Telling you how to use the paint. You know, and I think education's a really big thing. You know, I think there's a certain barrier to entry that is, yes, some of this stuff is hard to use sometimes, but I think people make it harder to use in their mind than it really is. And the more I can kind of show people cool ideas for projects and just how easy it can be to slap this on something and make it look cool, I think that that's really helpful.
Agreed. You know, it's nice to actually see it because, you know, I don't know, I don't want to say fear factor, but it's the best term I can tell. When learning how to paint, there's a lot of fear. Like me personally, I'm not gonna lie. I was just over at, I think it was Lethal Shadow, looking at their all-in-one dry brush because I've never done it. I've always been interested. But I myself
Airbrush.
Yeah,
Not dry
airbrush.
brush.
Oh yeah, they've got the one.
The airbrush, yeah.
Yeah, and myself, I've always wanted to, but I've always, even me, I was afraid to even approach it. So
That's why I was thinking it'd be cool for your paints.
yeah.
So I don't try to talk too much about competitors' products. I will warn you that those little portable airbrushes don't necessarily have enough power to work super well with our paints.
Oh, okay. So it's a stronger one. So you recommend a stronger.
So regular airbrush compressor, totally fine.
Yeah.
The little ones that work on USB power and like underneath the thing don't always have enough power.
Heard.
They need more PSI.
What if
Our
you
paint
use
has bigger pigment, so it needs to get a little more power to push it through the airbrush.
Gotcha.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I haven't used theirs specifically. I've used other companies like all-in-one airbrushes, and they've had trouble. Just as a warning.
But it's good to know though until we start putting it in there. So
Yeah.
I mean, and that's also nice. just to let me know. 'Cause, like,
Yeah.
you could have been like, haha.
Yeah, like
you know?
great, go for it. And then,
Yeah.
well, again, I want to have people have a good experience.
100%.
And I'm happy to show that. I want people to see the real Greg, the Greg that I've done with them, you know?
Yeah.
So that's perfect. And like, what if you were to use this? Would that help out any?
It would certainly help. Yeah. You may have to use a lot more of it than I would recommend. but
Yeah.
it should help. Yeah.
Fair enough.
The trade-off is if you lose any medium, if you use a lot of it, you're going to lose coverage because
Yeah.
you're diluting the paint, right? So I made this so you only need a drop or two, so you don't really dilute the paint very much. I think you could actually make it work if you use a little more of this. You just have to do like an extra layer or two.
And see, that goes right back to the education. Never say it's done. If you make a mistake, you just have to make it work.
Oh yeah.
You know, you just gotta try and think outside the box. You know, and that's perfect right there. That just shows you that this hobby is never finalized, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes is actually, as you heard, where you can learn some really good things. He made his company on a mistake. I started this all because I entered the Golden Demon, and I liked being able to get out there and reach people. So,
Yeah.
you know, take a swing, give your best. Don't let nothing hold you back, because you know we're here because of it. You know, and I'm
Yep.
hoping you know you take that and run with it, like you said.
Oh yeah. I mean, never. Nothing's precious, right? Like even if you screw up a paint job,
Yeah.
you can always strip it and you can start over again. The reality is it's probably not screwed up, and I would say sleep on it and come back the next day. You know, like the number of times when I've gotten frustrated with a paint job, and I've just put it down and I've thought about it in the shower later on, and I can come back and fix it the next day. You know, it's about being kind to yourself and the process, and recognizing that to some extent there's just a certain amount of like iteration you need to do and practice. You know, it's like I'm trying to learn how to do barbecue, right? Like smoking meats and stuff like that. I've watched millions of hours of YouTube, but the reality is I need to put the reps in, and I need to screw up some ribs
Yeah.
a couple times, and they're still edible.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they're not like, you know, Michelin star,
Right.
but like I have to do that to get to there. Don't be too afraid to paint. Just go out there and paint, and do it again the next day.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it.
Yeah, no, I can tell stories of I would do something and I'd get so angry that I would just drop the models, fuck this, and walk
Yeah.
away. My wife's like, it's not that bad, calm down. And,
Yeah.
you know, because I suffer from that too. Like, I want the best, and I want to do the best, but I also realize I'm still learning. Like, I'm never gonna be done.
Yeah.
And then when I come back and like, you know what, actually that worked out, like you said, and then like there were little things that worked. So,
Yeah.
you know, I myself suffer from that too. So I can,
Oh, yeah.
I can totally resonate with that.
Yeah, like I am not a good painter by any means. A lot of what makes Turbo Dork work is a bit of a cheat to make something look shiny.
Yeah.
You know, for lack of a better word. But like, I'm that kind of like, I like figuring out the, I hate to say minimum value product. It's like a marketing term, but it's like, how can I paint something well within my skill set in a way that looks good, right? And it's figuring out what techniques you're good at and you happen to like doing. I like putting washes on things to do shading. I don't want to do like a million layers. So I happen to like speed paints and contrast paints and all that stuff because they're like colorful washes and they work really well over this. So that's how I paint with art paints. A lot of other people layer them up and they do the full like, you know, where they're, I call it like fine art painting but on a 3D surface. I'm not that kind of painter. You know, like I'm an army painter. We're also good company, by the way.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is he wants to. There's a rule, like at like a place like this, all your models have to be painted before they can touch. So
Yeah.
as an army painter, the term means to paint the army to get it on the table.
Yeah. So you need to have 3 different colors. They don't really decide like how good your stuff is. You just need to like put the effort in and make sure that there's like nice high contrast stuff. And you know, army painting is a different thing than fine art
Filling the
painting.
gray shade.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
gray shade is pretty bad right now.
Yeah.
Atrocious.
I have 3 of those rolling wire racks like you can get from Costco filled with models.
Oh.
The problem is I get really into a game, so I buy everything for the game because you never know if you can get it again, right? And then the secret of Turbo Dork is that I don't get a chance to paint very much anymore. So part of putting the QR code on the boxes and the display is to kind of encourage me to do more educational content where I get to paint miniatures again and show people how to paint as an excuse to get me back into painting again.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes you need that back door.
I love that.
Yeah.
But sorry, I blinked. But oh no, going with what you said, you know, I like that you make it to where somebody that wants to just get in can just grab it and go. Like, there's a lot of people, and like I said, you know, we touched on it briefly. A lot of places won't even let you play non-finished model.
Yes.
Versus, you know, or they will, but you're like heavily penalized. And, you know, I feel like you are one of the few that are helping bridge that gap, because that's where we're losing it. You know, I also have a very unpopular opinion. I absolutely love the Warhammer video games. I love the fact that it gets people excited.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like it, and like they're like, but I feel like that's what was killing it for so long is gatekeeping. You know, I feel like there's a lot of really cool things bringing in new blood, and that's what we need.
There's a lot of gatekeeping, unfortunately, in nerd culture in general. I feel like mini wargaming is not so bad about that. It's much more inclusive.
I mean, back when I was growing up now, I felt like it was more, but I feel like now
It was more.
it's
certainly,
like exploding.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, when I was a kid, it was different. Now it's like we've got a lot more options. Like this is a great time to be in the hobby. Like we're spoiled for choice. We're spoiled for choice in games, and paint lines, and hobby products, and sculpts.
Like you can bring your own habit.
You can bring your own, and then the fact that there's YouTube and everything, and Twitch, and TikTok. Like I didn't have that growing up.
Right.
Like, I had White Dwarf once a month, and that was the only exposure I had to the outside world of like what the gaming world was like.
Right, and
Now-
it's very specific as well.
Yeah, now it's just in my pocket. There's like a million people I can watch and teach me a thing, or
Yeah.
teach me a game, or there's a new game. My wife Meredith works in the board game industry, and I think there's like 800 games that come out just in Gen Con
Oh my
over
gosh.
the summer. There's like over 1,000 games every year. Now that's board games. Miniature war games are maybe more like 3,
But
4.
still, I mean,
But,
that's
yeah.
so much more than when we were growing up. It took GW from the 80s till now to finally start moving the storyline.
Yeah. And so, like, if you feel like, okay, well, maybe I don't resonate with what GW is doing in 40K, but I like Star Wars, I can go play Shatterpoint or Legion. Or I like weird, kind of quirky stuff, I can go with Malifaux, you know? And it's like I'm just, like, looking around, like, what's inside.
Right,
you
all
know,
this
it's like,
stuff,
what-
yeah.
Like
What,
Heroes. I was gonna
Heroescape,
yeah,
yeah.
it's back.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's old school.
for us old ass people.
Yeah.
That was like big in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like that was like the breakthrough way to get people to miniature gaming
Yeah.
without having to glue your fingers together.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually one of my friends in Los Angeles is like one of the designers of that game.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
the
cool.
Renegade, yeah.
My wife will tell you, I screamed like a schoolgirl when I seen it. I got so hyped. I
Yeah.
wanted it when I was a kid, and when my dad was thinking I was old enough, it was gone.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna grab up a couple boxes just because, like you said, you never know. I mean, it makes it sound like orders, but in this industry, things come and go so fast.
There's a real velocity to things here, especially for miniatures, because it's like miniatures are expensive to make, so you really can only do like, unless it's an evergreen product, you can really only do like one production run, which may be as little as 1,000, as many as 10,000, and that might be the only run they do. So if you want something and you have the budget for it, don't ever go over budget. I would say get it when you see it, and you can always sell on eBay later for probably more than you spent with it.
Easily.
Right.
You know.
I can jump in. I wanted the Sisters of Battle, the original
Oh, yeah.
Combat Patrol. I wanted to get it painted and painted, and
Yeah.
also to help get my wife into it, because I think it's fun watching wolves stop the shit out of what are they, nuns?
Yep.
You know? But now that box art is like 160 when it was only like 130 and climbing.
And that's the thing, though, is like our industry is just so expensive.
It really
Yeah.
is. And that brings it full circle. I like it.
Yeah.
Back into how everyone's bringing it in.
Yeah. But like, I think Combat Patrol makes sense. What's the one for AOS?
To be honest, I don't know. I was gonna look into it because I wanted to get the AOS because I have like 2,000 points, maybe 3,000 of undead,
Oh, yeah.
like vampire count.
Yeah.
So I looked at it. The name just escapes me, but that's also a great way to break into it. You know.
And I think I've always gone for that rule of cool too. It's like whatever sculpts attract you, the rules don't seem to matter. I think paint that thing, enjoy it, own it. You know, one of the things that's great about this is that you get to kind of put a little bit of yourself in your hobby.
Absolutely.
You know, and you get to express yourself, and you get to be like, I made this. And there's always been something powerful about that. I feel like more people should be able to have that feeling that they've made things.
Accomplishment.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's kind of a word that doesn't really mean much nowadays, but I get you. Like, you did this, you made this, you put in the work, you can now show off the fruit of your labor. I mean, it's very old terminology, but it still holds a value. You know?
It's too much of our world, I think, is just consuming things. And myself included, I watch a lot of TV, right? And I watch a lot of YouTube. But where I get actual true enjoyment out of life often is making things. And this hobby is a way to be making things with which you then get to play a game, with which you get to have a community. I think it's great, you know?
Honestly, like I said, I'll tell you, my wife will tell you, on a very bad day, I'll kiss her on the forehead, take a shower, and I'm right in my game room, and I'm on the painting table.
Yeah.
That's my happy place, that's my safe space, I can decompress. And after a really bad day, it's always nice to be able to just let it go away and just focus on that one thing.
Yep.
And create.
Yes.
Create. Do you ever watch Ted Lasso?
Yes! I love Ted. It's so funny.
I forgot the guy's name, where he's like, football is life.
Yeah.
This is life.
It really is.
You
I
know?
mean, because it's not just stale. It's not just like, I bought this painted model, now I'm going to go play with it.
Yeah.
You actually have an attachment.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking when you were talking, like, the rule of cool. There's a reason it called out to you. There's a reason that it was meant to be. I mean, my mother-in-law got me to say that things are meant to be, and we just got to trust it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's like want some nuns with guns, you can go with nuns with guns. You know,
Yeah.
You want like, yeah. You want some like weird gross dudes covered in pimples, you go for Nurgle.
Yeah.
You know? I've always liked Lehman Russ. Like, to be honest, those of you that know me have only known that I was a role player.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I was obsessed with Black Templars ever since I was growing up with
Okay.
3rd edition.
Yeah.
They were just the coolest. And then I read Lehman Russ and it went out the window. I loved the interaction where he was drunk, he out-ate the Emperor, and then tried to fight the Emperor, and just realizing it. The thing about him that drives me, and I'm sorry I'm fanboying, on a tangent, but I can't help
Yeah.
it. The thing that I love about him most is that his humanity. He's the only Primarch that has that level of humanity.
Interesting.
He can get drunk and have a good time with his warriors. He treats them like friends and not so much less. And like, it's just something like that that can take you from one diehard fandom to the next. And like, it's out there. You just have to let yourself enjoy it.
And I think it's a big enough hobby too that you can find something to identify with, you know, where it's like you identified with this almost God who happens to have his humanity that's showing through. You know, I identify with Slanesh and hedonism.
Yeah.
It's the colors.
Yeah.
Right? But like, you know, you get to have a little bit of your own identity come through in the games too.
Even then, I gotta throw it. Fulgrim was an epic read. I love reading about him. The whole portrait thing had me on the end of my feet. Like, you know, and the fact that you can actually say he kind of had some humanity too when he lost it after the death of his brother, Fermanus.
I think there's something to be said for the humanity of the chaos. I don't know. I've always been like, you know, the reality is you have to, as an artist, embrace the fact that a lot of creativity comes from negativity or depression and stuff like that. And I think chaos kind of meshes the two in an interesting way.
It does. I never thought of it that way, but it does make sense.
Yeah.
I see your point.
Like I always do my best work when I've had the worst day.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds. I don't know.
Like you said, I
Yeah.
had the shittiest day at work and I came home and
Yeah.
you know?
It's like, I don't know if it clears the plate of other things so you can concentrate better, or it's a palate cleanser.
Maybe it's just
or
like your soul needs this. Like,
yeah.
you're finally at a primal part, like, hey, I need something to make me feel better.
Right.
And then there it is. You're just out for it. Anything to make that better.
Yeah. Never know.
True. Although I will say this, touching on your Slaneshiness,
Yes.
have you seen the new theory about Fulgrim and what the Laughing God's trying to do? It's insane. Like, so you know our fabulous bile, right?
Yes.
So the theory is he's being steered by the Harlequins via the Laughing God because Slanesh can only be killed by one sword, and where is it at? In the warp. And who's the most vain farmer? You know that would kill a god just because somebody said they couldn't do it? Fulgrim. So the theory is Fulgrim's going to be redeemed by killing Slanesh by one of the 4 swords that is only in the warp. Sorry, I love theories. I just lose
interesting.
it.
Yeah. Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, look it up. It's crazy. It like, who is it? Major Kill. Actually,
Major Kill, okay.
on YouTube. He's a crazy Australian out there, but he's got some really cool theories on things. Like, honestly, I would say give it a try. It's amazing. As even for me, who is a wolf guy, I really enjoyed. Like, I was like, you know, because it's not just Slanesh, it's not just Laughing God. It's also because the Eldar, I guess, are trying to get together to summon this god.
Yeah.
Once she's summoned, the entire race dies out. So the Laughing God is trying to save the Eldar race by killing the Chaos.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I feel bad because I'm such like a filthy casual when it comes to the lore for some of
You
this
know,
stuff.
and that's another one. I'm glad you mentioned that. 'Cause that's another thing for like this hobby. You don't have to be into one aspect.
Yeah.
I know plenty that just love the lore. So
Like I got super deep into like Eisenhorn, Ravener books, anything from Dan Abnett, to be honest. But I haven't gotten too much into like the Horus Heresy. Like this all started because I wanted metallic work before the Emperor's Children.
yep.
But I identified with them more from their like overarching concepts, more so than like specific fiction about them, you know. Because I have to be kind of like into every part of our hobby, I can never get too deep into one little sector of it.
Yeah.
But I love that there's passion for this, like you have.
You know, like I said, sometimes my wife will tell me, like, in her interviews, one of the things that I'm working on is not cutting off my interviewees, but I'm terrible at this interview. And with
He gets excited.
But, it's great because, like you said, it doesn't lock you into one. If you're not into models, if you're not into painting, there's lore, there's books. I mean, I'm such a nerd now that I don't even listen to music when I'm driving the car by myself. I have an audiobook.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I talked about this with Luca yesterday. You know, it's just so peaceful to hear it. You know, I see the TikTok and it made me laugh my ass off. So I sent it to my wife. It was literally like Blink-182 because they're like my favorite band. Like driving the car when you're 18. Now that I'm 35, it's like a storybook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is though. Yeah. I listened to like an audiobook a week at this point.
I listen whenever she's not in the car. I listen to it because like I know she doesn't like it, so I try to be more.
I've managed to get Meredith into some of this stuff just by like as we're
Playing
driving around
it.
doing chores, we'll be listening to things.
She's into a lot of things. Like last night when we talked with Luca, she went home and watched the Sig Talk. So you know she is into it. But
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a deep hobby hole to go down too.
it really is, and that's what I love about it. Especially for somebody that's like ADHD, and I'm sure you have it. But
How did you know?
I guess Game recognized it.
Yeah,
No, I'm
right.
kidding. But it's so nice because one of the typical things for us that, for those of you that don't know, we crave dopamine. We crave something new. And for us, getting bored with something is so easy. And that's where this comes in, that you can dive down and go absolutely ape shit one way and not burn up the entire plane.
Yeah.
It's infinite.
I don't
You can
know.
look it and learn it.
I don't know if you do this too, but one of my things that I've recognized over the years is I will become an expert at some subject for about 2 weeks, and then I'll never touch it again.
Yeah. Literally.
Where it's like, okay, I'm going to learn about knots. I'm going to
Yeah.
figure out sail making knots. I'm going to learn about how to weave things and stuff like that for like 2 weeks. Or I'll go super down. Okay, I'm going to build this amazing custom army with all these pig heads and whatever. And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, on to the next thing.
Yeah.
I've learned if the interest has survived past 2 weeks, maybe I really can follow through with it. But I've learned not to act too quickly on certain things. Like, I love DJing. I love the idea of making music. I'm terrible at it. And I keep coming back to it like once a year where I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn this again. I'm like, oh no, put it down. See if I'm into it again in a month.
I hear you, and I'm terrible. There's so many half-finished projects all over my house. My wife is like, God damn it.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, my house is banned projects.
I literally have a night that I've been working on for a year. No, 2 years now. Same spot that it's been, and I look at it every day, and I'm going to do this. Oh, look, shiny.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I have my Gundam. I actually kit bashed a Barbatos Gundam with space bolts to look like, because I found this beautiful place where like one of them was just destroyed, and he's standing there with an axe on. I'm not done shit with it for like over a year.
Yeah.
But I think it's also being important to be kind to yourself with that stuff too, and recognize that, and like your process, and like you will get back to it someday.
I see it. I have the vision, and then it's like Golden Demon, and like this year, when we talked 2 years ago, I had only did 1 entry.
Yeah.
Now I have 6.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I have.
cool.
Yeah, it was terrifying. I didn't shit myself, but it was great.
I see, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, you know, it was worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to balance myself out, and I had people wanting me to do projects, and
Yeah.
so it's nice, but like, you know, it's just sometimes it's hard to focus.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
But I think we're coming up on almost.
Yeah, it's like I
Yeah.
really need to run back to the
Yeah.
at this
I
point.
didn't
Speaking
like
of hard to focus, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
No, you're
no,
fine. Yeah,
I
go.
see.
Huh?
I gotta like not that I have to babysit them. They're amazing.
No.
Bree and Brian have done an amazing job.
But it, like you said,
But it's my baby.
It's your baby,
I
yeah.
feel
Thank
like
you
I
for
need-
your time. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks for
it.
having me, Austin.
Yes.
I'm happy to do this. Like I said, you were amazing to me. So.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Bye.